Hi, Frank Gromling. I'm the MC of the Environmental Education Fair, and this is another in our series of interviews. And I have with me my friend Dr. Maia McGuire, who is a marine scientist. And Maia, tell us about what your topic was today and what you think about this whole environmental fair.
Alrighty, well, I talked today about beachcombing, but I took it from kind of a non-traditional standpoint. I knew that somebody else was presenting about seashells, so I decided, okay, I'm not going to cover seashells, I'm going to do all the other really cool stuff. So we talked about sea beams and mermaids' purses and sharks' teeth and stingray barbs and all that fun stuff.
So stuff that folks probably hadn't heard about or possibly hadn't heard about before?
In many cases, it was things people hadn't heard about. In many cases, it was things that people had probably seen on the beach,
but
never really gave it a second thought because they just thought it was maybe a piece of trash or junk or didn't know what it was, so they ignored it.
Did anybody ask anything about other stuff they see, like plastic and stuff like that?
Well, we touched on marine debris, but I knew the keynote speaker was really going to be talking about that topic, so we didn't get into depth with any of that.
All right, good. And what about this whole gig that's going on? This is the first annual Environmental Education Fair presented by the Friends of A1A Scenic Byway. Tell me about what you think about that and this opportunity.
I think it's really exciting, and I think we've got a great location for it here at the Whitney Lab. I think it's good
it's
good for the A1A folks, it's good for the Whitney Lab folks. It's good to bring people out here and see because we've got a really neat section of coastline right here. We've got a lot of unusual things on our beaches right here across the street, and it's just a perfect place to showcase A1A and the environment and how we can help protect it.
That's true, and one of the things that I know about you is that not only do you work with a lot of adults in our community, but you also work with a lot of kids. You're in schools, and with your dynamism, your personality, that's really a plus. How are the kids responding when you go out to the schools? What are they saying about this whole environmental thing, and especially the coastal environmental thing?
It's actually really cool. This past year or so, we've really been focusing on manatee education in the schools. And we had a chance to take 400 third grade students to Blue Spring in December to see manatees. And for many of them, it was the first time they'd ever seen a live, real manatee. And one of the things that one of the groups picked up on was there was a soda can in the water there at Blue Spring, and they were just indignant that there would be this trash.
Nobody jumped in or anything.
No, they didn't. But it was really nice to know they had learned about the threats to manatees, and they really took a personal interest in that. And they observed something that they knew was bad for the manatees' environment, and they commented on it.
Yeah, that's a key environment for those manatees at Blue Spring State Park.
Right.
That's a park that's about an hour from where we are right now.
Right.
And it is really the home of a large number of manatees during the year.
They have a large resident population of manatees, and so every winter they know that there's this group of several hundred manatees that are going to come there for the warm water.
Right. And by warm, you're talking about 72 degrees or thereabouts?
We're talking about 72 degrees,
Spring-fed.
which for us in the summer feels really cold, but for a manatee in the winter, remember this past winter we had such cold weather, the water temperatures were dropping to 50 degrees. Manatees need water that's 68 degrees or warmer. So the springs for them is like a bathtub.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's a natural. Listen, I'm really happy that you're here because you bring a whole dynamism to what's going on in this environmental effort, and your knowledge base is just huge, and I appreciate you being with us today.
Well, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.